Let's talk about something millions of men over 60 experience, but very few actually enjoy talking about: erectile dysfunction. It can be frustrating, embarrassing, and easy to blame on getting older. But here's something many men don't realize. Sometimes the first clue isn't low testosterone, and it isn't simply age. Sometimes it's your blood vessels. And in many cases, it may even be a medication you're already taking. Before we talk about 3 foods supported by research, that's where we need to begin. Hi, I'm Dee. I'm a registered pharmacist with nearly 30 years of experience, and I teach people how to use herbs and foods naturally to support healthier, more vibrant lives through a holistic approach. Today, we're talking about one of the most under-discussed subjects in men's health, not because it's uncommon, but because too many men feel embarrassed bringing it up. The truth is, this conversation is much more common than you probably think. Here's why this matters. An erection depends on healthy blood flow. In fact, the arteries involved are actually much smaller than the arteries supplying your heart. That means problems here sometimes appear years before someone develops more obvious cardiovascular disease. In other words, erectile dysfunction isn't always just about intimacy. Sometimes it's your body giving you an early warning sign that your blood vessels need attention. Now, here's the part I wish more men knew. As a pharmacist, before I automatically blame aging, I ask another question. Did anything change around the same time a medication changed? Because medications themselves are one of the most overlooked causes of erectile dysfunction after 60. Certain blood pressure medicines, particularly some older beta blockers and some diuretics, can contribute. Some antidepressants, especially SSIRs, selective serotonin reuptake inhibitors, that's basically what that means, SSRIs. Those can also contribute. Medicines used for an enlarged prostate, and even certain allergy medications. All of these may play a role. If those problems started around the same time you began a new medication, that's not a coincidence to ignore. That's a clue. Please don't stop your medication on your own, but absolutely discuss it with your doctor or your pharmacist. Sometimes another medication in the same family, or simply maybe adjusting the dose, can really make a meaningful difference. That conversation happens far less often than it really should. Now, let's talk about food. One of the most important molecules involved in healthy circulation is nitric oxide. Think of nitric oxide as a messenger. It tells your blood vessels to relax, open wider, and allow blood to flow more easily. Researchers have spent years studying foods that naturally support this pathway. Let's start with number 3. That would be watermelon. Most people think of watermelon as nothing more than a refreshing summer fruit, but it's actually one of the richest natural sources of lycopene. Lycopene is a red carotenoid that's been studied for both cardiovascular health and also prostate health. Watermelon also contains L-citrulline, an amino acid that your body converts into L-arginine, which is then used to produce nitric oxide. That's one reason watermelon continues attracting attention in circulation research. And a practical place to start is maybe 1 to 2 cups of fresh watermelons a day. You can also blend it into a smoothie. But the next food works through a completely different pathway. Food number 2 is beetroot. Beetroot naturally contains nitrates, and your body converts those nitrates into nitric oxide, which helps your body support healthy blood flow. One reason beetroot is so interesting is that this pathway can remain effective even as we get older. Researchers have even measured improvements in blood flow within hours after consuming beetroot in some studies. Fresh beets, roasted beets, or even unsweetened beet juice, they're all excellent choices. Now, my favorite food on this list may surprise you, but it supports the blood vessels themselves. And that brings number 1 to pomegranates. Pomegranates are packed with natural polyphenols, particularly compounds called punicalgins. Researchers continue studying these compounds because they help support the health of the endothelium. This is the delicate inner lining of your blood vessels. Healthy blood vessels don't simply carry blood. They relax, respond, and expand efficiently. That's exactly what healthy circulation depends on. Pomegranates are also being studied for prostate health, making them one of the most interesting fruits for aging men. Now, whole pomegranates is ideal, but yeah, unsweetened pomegranate juice can also fit into a healthy diet. One of my favorite parts of traveling is seeing what different cultures traditionally believed supported men's vitality. In Korea, I saw deer antlers displayed in traditional medicine shots alongside dried seahorses, both sold as men's vitality products. Now, whether you've seen them before or not, for me, they're just hard to forget. Then there was snake wine. And I don't mean a picture of a snake on a bottle. I mean the entire snake, coiled inside, looking like it still had unfinished business with whoever took it or walked by it. Now, the first time I saw one, I honestly wasn't even sure whether to read the label or to even make eye contact because it was a little scary. And snake wine has been used traditionally for generations. But after looking through the research, I couldn't find good clinical evidence supporting those claims. So definitely centuries of tradition. Absolutely. But hey, the strong human evidence, not that I've found. Now, in parts of West Africa, I know about another, let me say a completely different tradition, tiger nut milk. Usually blended into a naturally sweet drink, especially adding ginger. It's generally traditionally associated with men's vitality. Now, from a nutritional standpoint, tiger nuts and ginger, they're genuinely interesting. Tiger nuts are naturally rich in fiber, very healthy fats, and a lot of minerals. And researchers have also studied them for things like healthy blood sugar levels and healthy cholesterol levels. That's quite different from saying they've been proven to help or treat erectile dysfunction. But there's certainly a nutritious traditional food worth knowing about. Now, in West Africa also, there's also alligator peppers. That's another traditional remedy. It's biologically interesting because spicy compounds may temporarily actually increase blood flow. But Unlike watermelon or maybe beetroot or pomegranate, it simply hasn't been studied to the same extent. And that's an important distinction. However, traditional use is fascinating. Scientific evidence is a separate question. Here's what I'd encourage you to do. Choose one of these 3 foods and include it consistently over the next 2 weeks. At the same time, if you've noticed meaningful changes in erectile function, please don't keep it to yourself. Talk with your doctor. Speak with your pharmacist. Sometimes it's your blood vessels asking for attention. Sometimes it could be your medication. And in many cases, there's something that can be done about it. If you'd like a simple plan that supports healthy circulation and helps reduce inflammation through food, my 3-day anti-inflammatory detox planner is linked below. And if you'd like me to do another video on the herbs traditionally used for men's vitality, herbs like ginseng, maca, tonkat ali, tribulus, and what the research actually says about them, let me know in the comments below. If you enjoy honest, research-backed videos that combine pharmacy, herbs, nutrition, travel, and practical health advice, I'd really love you to subscribe. I'm Dee. I'm your root cause pharmacist. And remember, you don't have to become healthier overnight. Just aim to become 1% healthier every day. I'll see you in the next video. Ciao.